What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 6. It's so crazy that it's already episode 6 of Car Thoughts. How is everyone doing? I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to a different type of episode again. We're not going to talk about like a story or anything, or something like nice. We're going to talk about something kind of annoying, kind of like snow. So just like the snow, we're going to go off on another rant. We're going to rant about Utah drivers. Because trust me, I'm pretty sure a lot of people here in Utah have seen how crappy some of their drivers are. A lot of people are probably thinking, Christian, you've lived in Utah the majority of your life, and this is the only place you've ever driven. Why wouldn't you consider yourself a Utah driver? Well, let's put it this way. I have California in my blood. Basically, when I am driving, I'm not thinking like as cautiously as probably some Utah drivers are. I'm just like, we gotta go, we gotta get going, we gotta do this, we gotta go. That, and I feel like I'm a lot more confident in my driving. And what do I mean about confident is basically just like, seeing as we basically have a ton of highway patrolmen who will literally just sit off the side of the road and just watch people wait for them to speed just to get to their quota, is kind of a sad thing for me when you think about how much of our tax dollars are going into something like that. Like, I freaking pay too much in taxes, I think. Like, I think I'm in like that bracket of like 22% of everything that I make goes into taxes, something like that. So unfortunately, a lot of that I see, I mean, in general in this country, I see that like my tax money is kind of being wasted in a lot of ways. There are a lot of good things that are happening with it, but I do see a lot of waste with it. So with highway patrolmen, unfortunately, they're just kind of just there waiting for people to drive by that are driving a little bit faster than normal to be able to pull them over. Whereas, I can guarantee you, I drive really, really fast, and I'm confident in my driving that I don't feel the need for a speed limit to be necessary, I don't think. And here's why. There have been tests and like different things that people have seen just in the normal daily life that if you're driving under the speed limit, it's actually a lot more dangerous than it is driving over, of course. But of course, you technically are only allowed to drive up until that point. So technically anything below that, I think it's to like 55 miles an hour is the minimum you can drive. But I feel like having a minimum would be a lot more cost effective, I would say, than like actually like speeding. Because speeding, everyone speeds. There's not one person that I see on the road that is driving at or just around the speed limit unless they're over like 70 and or they're like super close like this, like trying to figure out where they are. And those people, I feel like they should have a tracker put on their thing that basically let the state know that they aren't really that fit to drive, because there's this little kit that I've seen be put into cars to kind of monitor like how fast you're going. And a lot of the times, if you're going like too fast, it'll alert like a company, and they'll basically give you like a demerit or something, or whatever you would call it, like a citation, I guess. I don't have that, thankfully, so I can drive as fast as I want. But I'm also a super confident driver. A lot of people in Utah, unfortunately, are not the most confident drivers, and it's really, really annoying. Why is it having me make a U-turn up here when I can literally just turn onto the freeway? This thing is weird. But with the speed limit, I don't know. I personally do not think we really need it. That's why? Are you serious? The road is oh my gosh. That's fantastic. Okay, well, I will try to find a new way to go. Because the freeway that is the most, the most northwest of here is closed. That's fantastic. Lovely. I'll try to figure out another place, but I don't know where I could. Yeah, I can. Oh, sick. Awesome. So yeah, with residential areas, business access areas, like parking lots and stuff, that type of thing, I can totally understand. Airports, absolutely. But on a freeway or a highway where there's not tons of curves, because I went through Guardsman's Pass, which if you don't know what that is, it's basically going through like a canyon up in Park City, which is about a half-hour northeast of where I live. It's really nice, but I went there with my dad one time. We were on a car drive. We were literally driving with other like supercars and stuff. And my dad, he has an Audi RS5, so it's not like the supercar, but it's a really nice car. He was going like 120 through these turns, and it was scary. It was really, really scary. So thankfully he had 4-wheel drive, and he has like a racing license, so he's totally trained and knows how to work everything. But yeah, I was sick after that. So I can totally understand having like a speed limit in those types of areas, as well as like turns. So there's like a massive curve on a freeway. Absolutely, put like 45 to 50 miles an hour like you normally would, right? Because that's just smart. That's just common sense. Other than that, I don't think we need it. I think a lot of stuff that happens, of course, there's a lot of neglect. Of course, there's a lot of different things that we don't really see in our day-to-day basis when it comes to accidents. But good grief, Utah drivers cause so many accidents to the point like there are these there's the signs just overhead of like the off-ramps or the overpasses and stuff that say, oh yeah, 39 out of 70 days we had a fatality. And it's like, that is a really scary number. Why? I hate having that put in front of my face, but at the same time, Utah drivers, they don't correct themselves. I think a lot of it is I've been thinking about this word, but I cannot think of it. I'm thinking like privileged, but I don't think that's the proper word for it. That they think that they kind of own the road, I would say. So a lot of the times when they're going onto an on-ramp and they're merging, what should you do when that happens? You should get to speed. Do your best to get to speed. And when you get to that speed that's kind of on the freeway, merge as carefully as you can, and do not expect other people to do that work for you, because it's just not realistic. Because in an accident, if you cause an accident while you're merging, it's your fault. You're the one who's merging. The other person is in the right of way. They're just driving totally normal, and you are the one who just kind of takes them out. So unfortunately, we need to put that in like our driving tests. I personally believe we need to put that on our driving tests. And why? Because Utah has some of the worst mergers I have ever seen. I'm not talking about like company mergers. I'm talking about like driving mergers. Because I do my best to try to get to speed, and I try to compensate for the other drivers. They don't need to compensate for me. I am the one who needs to get in there. They're the ones who are driving just fine. And that's one thing that a lot of people, when it comes to merging and stuff, don't understand, is that they need to get out of that lane too, out of that far right lane. If it's like super heavy traffic, where they're not really moving a ton anyway, I can kind of understand that because they need more space. But on top of that, when it comes to that very far right lane, if there's nobody like around, there are a lot of times where people will probably just like run a yield or something, and they'll just go straight into somebody. Like, I don't think I've ever seen that happen. However, I'm pretty sure it's not uncommon for it to happen. I've also seen just tons of people just blindly going in, and it's like, okay, just go for it, just shoot for it. But at the same time, it's really, I'm doing it again. I'm doing it at the same time again. If you watch this video right here, and I'm pretty sure you'll see how many times I say it at the same time. I don't know. People are weird. People are crazy when it comes to driving. And I've mainly only seen it in Utah. Because in California, they'll get in and out. They will drive nuts. But at the same, gosh, I'm doing it again. However, when they're driving, it's so much better. It's so much more smooth. Back to the speed limit thing. I remember when I was driving home from work one day, and this guy, I was in the fast lane. I was going 10 over in the fast lane. And this guy was right behind me. He was in basically like the upgrade of my car. I have a Nissan Altima 2018. He had a 2018 Infiniti I think it's the Q40, Q50, something like that. It was kind of like my car, but advanced. So he was right behind me. He was going about he was going like 85. So he's like just tailing on me. And then he goes around and he gets in front of me. And I'm like, are you serious? I hate when people pass me. It bugs me. But when I saw that, I was like, okay, well, in all honesty, I'm not going to do anything about it. Whatever. You put it past me, I didn't really care. But then I thought, screw it. Let's chase him. So I'm going. I literally pick up speed. I'm at 80. So I'm picking up speed super quick. And so I was like just right behind him. And I hit 100 miles an hour. And I cannot tell you how serene that was. I hit 100 miles an hour and everything just became clear about how amazing the world was. Because, I don't know. It was something just so amazing seeing that line past the 100, and it's just like it's incredible. It's fantastic. So I personally don't believe that we should have the speed limits anymore because of that amazing experience. I do understand though, like the reason why we have it is because of safety. People need their jobs and highway patrolmen need something to do because literally there's nothing going on in Utah unless you go to the inner city, which Utah doesn't really have inner cities, but there are places where are inner cities, and if you know, now you know. I'm not going to say the next part because I'm not Kendrick Lamar. I personally believe that people just need to move. Like, seriously, I'm going 75 right now on this freeway, and I'm just like, I don't see a lot happening right now because, you know, coronavirus and everything. Look out, wash your hands, etc., etc. But I don't know. With trucks intermingled as well, trucks should have their own lane so then they can get in and out easier. And maybe that's the next step. Maybe we should put trucks on like a higher thing, so then they can drive separately. Because I think that's a major problem too. Because I'm pretty sure they want to be in like the far right lane, so then they can kind of be a little bit slower. Because they are generally a little bit slower. So there's this one time. Okay, quick tangent. There's this one time I was driving to a store up in Woods Cross, Bountiful. So about 15 minutes from my work, and literally there is a guy going 90, 95, barreling through the freaking freeway, and it was a tanker. It was a tanker truck. It was massive. It was like, I'm just like, this is really scary, and he could have potentially hurt somebody. I don't like this. It's super scary. Anyway, I think they should have like their own set, something around them. Just so then, because I feel like a lot of people probably I get scared when I drive past them. I'm going to be completely honest, but I'm confident. I don't really have a fear of this person's going to hit me or something, because I'm pretty sure they know what they're doing. Let's be real. But I also know that you just got to be careful. And a lot of people are super scared of being pulled over. They see how many fatalities we have at any given time, so they're super nervous about that. But I just hate Utah drivers, especially in my neighborhood, like around where I live too. You have to make a U-turn to do anything near my house. There's a median there. You have to make anyway. So in doing this U-turn, oh man, Utah drivers, they just space themselves out. Where it's like, yes, 2 car lengths apart, yeah, of course, whatever. But everywhere else, it's just like, I don't care, I'll be right behind this person. But they're just so far spaced out to where it's too much, it's not enough space for you to go, but at the same time, if you're confident enough, you could make it. And I'm not in that bracket yet. It's really scary for me to drive in a U-turn around there, because I don't think I can make that, personally. That's the one thing I'm not confident in with my driving. Another thing that really bugs me about driving are people who don't use their turn signal. U-turns are notorious. Well, I guess not just U-turns, but I hate when people don't use their turn signal. You can be the worst driver. You can be going like in and out of traffic. I don't even care. If you use your turn signal, I'm all for it. But then there are people who use their turn signal too much. And you know those people who will put it on when they're in like the middle lane, and you're just like, I want to pass you, but I don't know if I can or not. And then there are the people who don't use the turn signal at like traffic stops. Because a lot of the times when I'm delivering in downtown Salt Lake, I'll see that there are places where it's either straight on or it's a turn. It's the same lane, right? And you have the other lane that's either a right turn or it's a right turn and a straight. So it's always confusing on which place has which. So when you don't have your turn signal on, it's pretty freaky, because I'm wanting to turn here, but since you're like, you don't have your turn signal on, I don't know if I can turn or not. So we're just kind of at this Mexican standoff, and it's really annoying. Yeah, that was a good rant. I feel like I just went on. There's a lot more to it. That was super jumbled too. I'm pretty sure in future episodes I can just like focus on one main theme. But for right now, this is it. This is what it's gonna be, because, you know, I do what I want. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope I got my point across. There's a whole other episode. I can combine two of these different rants, which are snow and Utah drivers. Easily could combine these, but we'll save that for a later date. So yeah, trust me, there's a lot of stuff that Utah drivers need to fix, and hopefully they'll get there. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Comment down below what you like, what you didn't like. Like and subscribe to the video, please, and follow me everywhere. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one.